Hey, what up, folks? Welcome to the Film Focus page again. It's me, and I'm going to be talking to you about Ready Player One, the acclaimed new film from the acclaimed filmmaker that is Mr. Steven Spielberg, and stars Tye Sheridan and Olivia Cooke. Now, Ready Player One is based upon a book of the same title, written by Ernest Cline, who is also a writer on this film, and it tells the story of a dystopian future set in 2045, where everybody, to get away from the real world, they participate in this virtual reality world called the OASIS. And you can basically be anything you want in the OASIS. And the creator of the OASIS, Mr. Halliday, who has sadly passed away, reveals to all of those that participate in this world that he has left an Easter egg, which is a video game term for a clue, located in the Oasis somewhere. And if they can find it, they not only get control of the Oasis, but also get control of $500 billion of his worth, of his money. And two of the main characters in this film, Wade, played by Tye Sheridan, and Samantha, played by Olivia Cooke, they set about trying to locate this Easter egg. Now, this is Steven Spielberg's second film of the year. His first being The Excellent Post, which debuted in January. And for me, this is Steven Spielberg's first fantasy film in 7 years. His first film was Tintin, which he did in 2011. So in 7 years, he hasn't done an escapist film. And for me, when it comes to escapism, fantasy, adventure, and action, nobody does it better than Steven Spielberg. Nobody. This man built a career of doing entertaining escapism films. So you're talking about, let's look at his work, Jurassic Park, Hook, Indiana Jones, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws. The list is endless. This man has proved that he can do any type of genre, be it war, true life biopics, action. But when it comes to escapism films, this is him at his best. And I have to say, this film is up there with some of his best work today. I can easily say that this has to be one of the most awe-inspiring films of his since, Minority Report. Just in terms of how, the cinematography in this film is beautiful. The construction of the future in 2045, the interpretation of it, and this film is something that has you gripped from the get-go. Even from the opening sequence, the incredible car chase sequence where they rush to get the first clue. The sound effects and visual effects in this film are excellent. And when they go into the virtual reality world, the avatars, the way that they've just been designed are just phenomenal. And you know that a visual effects firm has done a good job when you can't differentiate between what's visual effect and what is actually real. And credit where credit is due to Industrial Light and Magic, the acclaimed visual effects house that Spielberg collaborates on frequently. They did a phenomenal job in this film. Also, what was beautiful about this film was the script, and the film is only as good as its script. And Ernest Cline, who wrote the book and also helped write the film as well, and Zach Penn have crafted together a beautiful film, which is not only as entertaining, but it is thought-provoking. And I have to say that this has to be Spielberg's funniest film to date, but it's also his most thought-provoking, because what these guys have done is write a film that, on one level, has you thinking about the chase, and has these guys going through all these clues and going through all of these different mazes to find these Easter eggs, but at the same time, they've got a really, really subtle undertone, and something that they want you to think about in terms of virtual reality and detaching yourself from virtual reality, and not everything in there is real, and sometimes you need to come back to the real world. And that is so apt for this time and age that we are in, where people, we are glued to our mobile phones and we're more focused on what's going on social media than what's going on in the real world. And we're all like that in some way, shape or form. I know I've been like that at times, and I'm sure you can all attest to that as well. So this film works beautifully. I have to say that this has to be probably Spielberg's funniest film to date, because I have to believe that every joke, every comedic line works beautifully and it hits its mark perfectly. And, comedy is a difficult thing to get, but they got it right so well in this film. And it's a testament to Spielberg, where he can always bring out the best performances in his actors. Speaking of the actors, I do believe that Tye Sheridan, who played Wade in his character, he was very, very good in this film. He was very, very funny. He was also very, very engaging and very, very gripping from the get-go. Olivia Cooke, who played Sam in this film, she was a good sidekick to him as well. I wasn't too keen on the whole relationship aspect between the two of them. There were some parts where it felt forced and was unnecessary, but it worked. But also, everybody in this film had their chance to shine. So, another up and coming actor, Philip Zhao, who plays Show, who was a member of, the High Five, which is the team that Wade's character gets together to help him find the Easter egg. He was very, very funny. Excellent comedic timing, excellent comedic delivery, and I can't wait to see what this young man does next. Also, T.J. Miller, who played IROC in this film, he was a very, very funny villain in this film. And, there are a lot of jokes in this film that he was saying where he didn't intend to be funny, but he was. And, he was very, very good in this film. Ben Meadowham, also, as the villain, he was very, very good as well. And a hero is only as good as the villain in this film. And he was very, very good. He wasn't camp, he was direct, he was to the point. And when he had his moment to be comedic and funny, he was on it. This film, for me, what surprised me the most about this film was the musical composition. And for me, a frequent collaborator of Steven Spielberg's is John Williams. And John Williams has done, he's done Superman, he did the Indiana Jones films, he's done Star Wars, he's done Jaws, he's done so many films. But in this film, he didn't do the musical score in this film. In fact, it was actually done to Alan Silvestri, who is a frequent collaborator of Robert Zemeckis, and he is as well known in his own right, and he has done a whole lot of films, including the Back to the Future films, Forrest Gump, Romance in the Stone, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and those Back to the Future films and Who Framed Roger Rabbit were executive produced by Spielberg, so they have worked together to some capacity. But this is the first one where he's actually composed a musical score, and he done it beautifully. And I like how he utilized all the instruments and his musical compositions for intensity, for drama, for romance, for action, for comedy. They were all spot on. They weren't misplaced, they were all spot on. And I liked how there was one point, and there was a plot spoiler here, where they have a Rubik's Cube thing, and it's called the Zemeckis Cube, a homage to Robert Zemeckis. And when it was activated, you heard, the Back to the Future music play, which I thought was a really nice touch. And on the whole, what I love most about this film, it is just, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It doesn't flounder in any way, shape or form. It keeps you gripped from the get-go. And this film works on so many levels. And had this film been released earlier, I strongly do believe that this film could have been a contender for visual effects and sound effects at the Academy Awards, because I do believe it was that good. And one thing I loved about this film, another thing, was the musical homage to the 80s. There are so many tracks from the 80s that just take you on a time travel back to when times are good, But also, one thing that, has gotten this film noticed is the references and nods to 70s, 80s, 90s, and also naughty cinema. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen that the DeLorean is used in one of the races in the first part of the film. That is one of many. And there are a lot of Easter eggs in this film, like different parts from different films that you have the opportunity to notice. And me and my friend Joe, we were sitting there and we were saying, okay, that's from that film, that's from that film. And, some people say that it was overused, but, it was done to a beautiful effect. And overall, this film is just a testament to Spielberg's capabilities as a storyteller. Easily the greatest storyteller around, easily a man that knows how to do a story. There's nothing that this young man can't do. And this is up there with his best works. This has to be easily, out of the 2 films that he's done thus far, my favourite. And it's a return to form for him, to show that, when it comes to escapism entertainment, nobody does it better than him. So I will give Ready Player One 9 out of 10. This is one I highly recommend that you watch. This is one that's going to be in my DVD collection. It's one that I recommend should be in your DVD collection. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. And I shall see you on the next film review. Stay blessed.